Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I will be showing you how to do a budget in a free and easy way. Be sure to stick right to the end of the video as I will show you how to navigate the budget spreadsheet in the description below. Now, first of all, we need to set up our budget with the 50-30-20% rule. So what is this rule, you may ask? So this is where we allocate our income into 50% needs, 30% wants, and 20% savings. Then the next step is to define your income and needs. Now, let me pull up the spreadsheet that I've created. Just input your income right here. And after you input your income, just input your needs right in this category. So for example, you have groceries, you have housing that includes your rent, transportation, vehicles, communication, phone bills, insurance, basically anything that is a necessity, just input in the budget column here. Don't worry too much on the percentage column as we will get right into it at the end of the video. Now, if you notice, right, I've actually also included our monthly debt installment payment right here. As because I feel that it is a necessity, and I do not want to fall behind my payments. So I always keep my monthly installment for my debt. I'll put it here. So this is just the monthly installment amount and not the total debt amount. Then you could also always create a category for other expenses. You just put in right here, or maybe something like your subscription. You can always just edit this cell right here. We can always insert a row above and then just insert new categories if you want. So once we have defined the income and the needs, we need to define the wants. For my wants, I've input eating out, guilt-free spending, and any life and entertainment. So this includes my travel expenses or giving to others. Right? You can always create a new row if you want. Then put travel fund, or if you're going for travel, just put travel here. So things are like this. These are just an sample. And then the last but not least is the savings and investment. So this is automated. It will auto calculate your savings for the month. Okay. So once we have defined our income and needs, and we also have defined our wants, now we need to review the percentage allocated. So if you look at this percentage, right, we want to make sure it's as close to 50, 30, 20% guidelines, right? So you can see that our needs, it's great that it's below 50%. Our wants is a slightly high, it's more than 30%, and our savings is very low, it's less than 20%. After you review, you gotta think, where can I cut my expenses? Is it the needs? Is it too high? Is it my insurance payment? Is it too high, or is it my vehicle? Is it too expensive, or is it my wants? So from here, I can see that my wants is too high. I might be spending too much on eating out, so I need to cut back on this and try to get it as low as possible. And that will increase my savings, right? So if I get my wants, if I get my wants become low, right, getting closer, my savings will increase. So after you have reviewed the percentage, the next step is to track your actual expenses. So back to the spreadsheet here. So we do know that in the beginning of the month, right, previously we had inputted the budget. Okay, so now comes end of the month, we need to input the actual spend amount into these cells right here. So once we have input these cells, right, these are tracking our actual expenses, then comes the next steps. Okay, the next step is to do a month-end review and invest our savings. So when we're doing the month-end review, right, we're looking at the percentage of the actual spend here. Okay, we can see that, okay, our needs is below 50%. That is great. Our want is above 30%. Okay, so above 30%, we might need to cut back on our wants. We have to check, what's going on here? Are we eating out too much? Are we traveling too much? So it's good to take precaution, and then next month we want to cut down these expenses. Yep, we do know that we can't really spend this amount of money. Then we have these savings. It's a must. I feel like it's a must for everybody to have 3 to 6 months of expenses as your emergency fund. So these funds needs to be parked at liquid account. For example, like money market funds or your savings account. So I do recommend investing in Versa, right? It gives you 4% interest return right now. It takes about, I think, 2 working days for the withdrawal, or you can also just park it in your savings account. So just make sure you have 3 to 6 months of expenses as your emergency funds, right? So meaning 3 to 6 months of this total, expenses. For example, 2.6k, if you just multiply it by 3 or 6 months, it's good to have that amount as your emergency fund. Now, based on the previous chart, you need to check if the needs is greater than 50%, then we have an income problem. If the wants is greater than 30%, then we have a spending problem. And if your savings is less than 20%, you might have both of the above. But when your savings is more than 20%, ask yourself, are you enjoying life right now? What are you saving for? Because we want to live purpose in life without being drawn in debt. To find our purpose on what makes us happy. Some of us, we are too into building wealth that we forgot that we are here to live a life. With that, this concludes today's video. I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.